Okay, this is how to set up your team and schedule your team members to PCO. When you navigate to planningcenteronline.com and you log into your account, this is similar to what you should see. This is the dashboard. The first thing you're going to need to do when you are scheduling your team through PCO is you're going to need to make sure that your team members are already put into PCO. So you do that by going up here and clicking on the People tab. When you click on the People tab, what you get is a list of all of the volunteers who've been put into PCO. The first thing you need to do is make sure that your team members are not already in PCO. If they're already here on this list, that's fine, you can just leave them. If you look through this list and you see that your team member is not on PCO, you're going to need to add them. Please make sure that you check and make sure that they're not already in PCO before you try to add them, because you can have a double entry for someone and that will mess up scheduling. So once you make sure they're not already on this list in PCO, you can go ahead and add the person, and you do that by clicking right up here on Add a Person. That brings up this menu, and you put in their name and their email address. Make sure that you don't typo in their email address, because this is how they're going to receive all of their schedules for PCO, so it's really important that their email address is correct. As soon as you have all their information in, you just click Continue, and it's going to bring you to their account information. In this menu, you can put in more information if you have it on them. You can put in addresses, phone numbers. I like to put in phone numbers for the tech team members in case I need to get a hold of them if they don't show up on a Sunday morning. I can quickly get a hold of them and make sure everything's okay. You can also put in their birthday or their anniversary if you're wanting to keep track and send out happy birthdays or whatever. So that's a really cool feature. The volunteer can also log into this and put in their own information, which is great. You can leave all of these other settings where they are for now and just click on Save Person. And then your person is going to be in PCO. So you need to do that for each team member who's not already in PCO. The next thing we need to do is go back to the plans, and that's going to bring us back basically to the same place we started. This is a list of all of our Sunday plans. You can see here we have our youth services under a separate folder, and we have special events under a separate folder. I'm in the main service folder right now because that's where I schedule my team to the main service. And what we do is we're going to click on the first Sunday that we want to schedule people. So I've already scheduled my team for December. Let's say I'm scheduling for January. I'm going to click on the first Sunday in January. That's going to bring up January 6th plan. Right now there's not much in it because we haven't gotten that far into scheduling and planning yet. But what I'm going to need to do is you're going to go right here to where it says Scheduled People, and you're going to click this little gear right next to Scheduled People. And that's going to bring up the people categories and positions. You're going to look at this menu and you're going to see if your team is already listed here under these categories. For example, I'm scheduling for the tech team, and the tech team's already listed here. So because my team is already listed here, I would just close out of this menu and I would just go on to the next step. But if your team is not already listed here under the categories, you're going to need to add them in. And we're going to add a new one in. So this would be your team's name if you were the hospitality team, the tech team. I'm just going to put in test for now. You can leave all of these settings how they are and just hit accept. And that's added in our test team. The next thing you need to do is add in positions under your team. I'll show you how I have it for the tech team. The positions are the different things that I need to schedule people to do. camera, lights, the computer, whatever it is that you need to schedule people to do, whether that's greeting, parking, handing out flyers, whatever it is, you're going to add in those positions. This is going to be the fun-filled position of doing stuff. But whatever it is that you need people, whatever it is you need people to do. You can also add in people that you know are going to be doing this job. For example, let's say I know that I want Kurt Sturgill to do this job. And if you don't know exactly who you want to do that job, you can also leave it blank for now. And you're going to go down here and you're going to hit accept. And now you'll see that the doing stuff job is under my category. You can add in as many positions as you need. Once you're done with that, you're just going to close this menu. And you're going to go up here to Matrix. And you're going to get something that looks like this. This is similar to an Excel spreadsheet. And this is how I do all of my monthly scheduling. You'll see that each column is a Sunday. This is December 24th, this is January 6th, and you'll see the different tabs show the different parts of the service. This is what's going on in the service. This is the production crew, the tech team. So that'll be different for each service. What you're going to want to do is look for your team listed here. If your team's not already listed here, you need to come up to needed positions, and you're going to want to find your team right here on this sidebar. I'm going to add in the test team, and let's say I need 3 people for this particular job. I'm going to add that in, and now you'll see the test team is here under the drop-down menu. I'm going to show you how to do that again once your team is already in this menu. If you come to the matrix mode and you see that your team is already in this menu, for example, I'm scheduling for the tech team, and I see that the tech team is already in this menu. I'm going to make sure that I have only the Sundays that I need displayed here in matrix mode. For example, I don't need December 24th displayed because I'm going to be scheduling for January. So I go up here and I click this X for December 24th, and that gets rid of that Sunday. If you're looking at this matrix mode and you see that there's a Sunday missing that you do need to schedule people for, you just go right up here to load a plan, and I'm scheduling people for the Sunday main service, so I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to get all of the dates for Sunday main service. You can see that all of the Sundays in January are already loaded into matrix mode, but if they weren't, I would just click on whatever date I needed to go into matrix mode, and it would show up there. So this is the 4 Sundays in January that I need to schedule people. I'm scheduling people for the tech team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here again to needed positions, and I'm going to find the tech team. This is where I'm going to input how many people I need to schedule for each job. I only need 1 person to run the camera. I only need 1 person to run the lights. But let's say I needed 2 people to serve in fuel that day with the students. I would put 2 there. And let's say that I needed 3 people to be tech leads that day for troubleshooting. However many people you need for each position, there's no limit. And let's say I didn't need anyone for any of these other jobs today, so I'm going to leave them at 0. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to hit accept, and that's going to show me exactly how many people I need for each job. I'm going to do that for every Sunday. Each Sunday might be different depending on your ministry. Tech team stays pretty much the same every Sunday, but you might need more or less people depending on the Sunday. So once you go in and you do that for every single Sunday, you can start plugging people into those needed positions. And you do that by clicking on where it says 1 person needed or however many people are needed. That's going to bring up a list of people who have done this job before. These are all of my team members who have run the camera before. Let's say that you get to this menu and you see that you don't have anybody on this list because you're new to PCO. You can just go ahead and add people in. let's say that I want Billy White to run the camera. I would just add him in, and there he is, and I can just click next to his name to schedule him to run the camera that day. Let's say I clicked on the wrong person because I'm not so sure that Billy White would be good at running the camera that day. I can just go ahead and click right next to there and delete him. And then I can pick somebody else. I can add someone else in, or I can pick someone from my list. Another thing about this menu is when you get to this menu, you're going to see these little things pop up, like one conflict. What this means is this person has already been scheduled in a different area of the church that day. And that means that you can't schedule them because they've already been scheduled. For example, Matthew here has already been scheduled to serve in Quest as a small group assistant on January 6th. So I can't schedule him for the tech team because he's already serving somewhere else. So that's a really handy feature. Another thing you'll see here is what we call blockout dates. And what that is people can go into their calendar and they can tell us that they're going to be out of town on that particular Sunday or unavailable to serve for whatever reason. And you can see here that Willie has blocked out Sunday because he's not sure which area he wants to serve in. So I know not to schedule Willie for this Sunday because he's blocked that date out. You can force schedule someone if they have a conflict or a blockout, if they've done it by mistake and they didn't delete it, but I would definitely get in contact with them first and make sure that it wasn't a mistake. Otherwise, I can just pick someone from my list and schedule them in for that position. If I go to a job where I need 2 people, I would just click 2 people to schedule them and hit accept. So I would go through and do that for every position I need on each Sunday, and then I would have a full schedule. Once you start really filling out your schedule and PCO starts getting a feel for who's assigned to what positions typically, you can go right up here to auto schedule and it'll automatically fill in whoever needs to be scheduled. For example, I want to auto schedule for the tech team. So I would make sure that none of the other categories are selected and I would just click tech team, and PCO is going to go ahead and fill in each position for me. If you ever use auto scheduling, what you're going to want to do is make sure that PCO has actually put people in where you want them to go. For example, PCO has decided that I can run ProPresenter on this particular Sunday. I actually can't run ProPresenter. I am able to run ProPresenter, which is why my name has come up on the list, because I know how to run ProPresenter, but I'm not going to be able to run ProPresenter that day because I'm directing the service. So you want to make sure that PCO doesn't mistakenly put in people. Also, I know for a fact that Stephen Putnam would be playing in the worship band this particular Sunday, even though Art hasn't done his scheduling for the worship team yet, so I would take Stephen out of there as well. And you can go in and make corrections as needed, but auto-scheduling is a neat feature once you start getting used to scheduling people in PCO. Otherwise, I would go in one by one and schedule each person exactly where I want them to be. Once you have a full schedule, make sure you have everybody where you need them. I like matrix mode for scheduling because I can see last Sunday I had scheduled Josiah, and I know that Josiah only wants to serve every other Sunday, so I want to make sure I don't schedule him for this particular Sunday. So that's why I like them all laid out side by side like that. Once you have your entire team filled out for each Sunday of the month, you're going to go up here to email these people. You're going to get a menu that looks like this. You may see other categories here for other teams. You want to make sure that all of those are unchecked. You only want to check your team. If you have other teams checked, like the worship team or the hospitality team, and that is not the team you're scheduling for, you're going to send emails to their team members, and you don't want to do that. So make sure that only your team is clicked under categories. And this shows what services you're emailing them about. So I have each Sunday in January checked here. And then I'm going to hit accept, and I would get this email editor menu. And you can either leave this exactly as it is, or you can change it to customize what you want your email to say. Basically what this means is it's going to automatically input the volunteer's first name, and it's going to automatically input a signature from you because you're the one sending out this email. What I like to do in here for the tech team is I like to remind them what time I need them to be at the church, or I like to send them a Bible verse or thank them for being dedicated servants. Basically whatever you want, you can go ahead and add in here. I usually leave this couple lines of text in at the bottom though, because that lets them know that this is a scheduling email, and that they have to click the appropriate button whether they can accept or decline the schedule for that day. So once you have your email set up the way you want it to look, you're just going to hit accept, and that's going to tell you that the emails were successfully sent to the people that you sent them to. When they get their emails, I'm going to show you what that's going to look like for them in case you're unfamiliar with the PCO emails. When they get their email, it's going to look something like this. And it's just going to tell them, it's going to have that text that you put in, and it's going to tell them what day or days they've been scheduled and for what position. It's also going to have the time of the service and any rehearsal times that they may need to be there. They have 3 options when they get this email. They can either view the service, which will just take them right to PCO and they can see the plan for that day, or they can accept or decline this schedule. If they're unavailable that day, they're going to hit decline, and it's going to email you and let you know that they are not able to serve that day, and it's going to give you a suggested list of other people who could maybe serve in their place. If they hit accept, you're going to get an email, and it's going to let you know that they've accepted and that they are going to be there on Sunday. There's also other cool features in PCO. People can get text messages to their phone, as well as these scheduling emails. Just a lot of really neat things that make scheduling really easy. So if you're ever curious about any of those extra bells and whistles for scheduling that make it easier for you as a scheduler and easier for the volunteer, just go ahead and shoot me an email at jen@mypc3.com, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have or help you get to know any of the extra features that PCO has. So I hope this tutorial was helpful, and that's it for scheduling people to PCO.